So guys, you may be familiar with the most recent update to Infinite Warfare. It added a whole bunch of supply drop crap to the game, and not much else, and people are outraged by this most recent update, and rightfully so, as you should be. There's a lot of things that were added into the game that aren't kosher with a lot of people, and then a lot of things that weren't added into the game that a lot of people wanted. If you want to know the exact specifics, well, basically, people wanted leaderboards, combat record, and on top of that, custom emblems and all of that crap that was promised when the game was released and has still not been released. At this point, who knows when we're getting those things in the game? I'm assuming at this point there's actually a problem with coding them into the game, and that's why they're taking so long to be put out, but hey, I'm not a game developer, I don't know that off by hand. And then the things that people are outraged with being put into the game include over 600 customizable items, over 100 new Mark II weapons, and 9 new prototype weapons. What exactly does that mean in normal people terms? Well, they added in 9 new weapon variants which can be unlocked via salvage. On top of that, they added 127 new Mark II weapons. Now, what are these Mark II weapons? They are exactly the same as the weapons that you can currently unlock via salvage. However, they're just a little bit better. And this is when people started to get mad at what they were releasing. Not to mention that there's also 600 customizable weapons. That is ridiculous. But that's beside the point, and we'll get there in a second. So, with these 127 new weapons, they're called Mark II weapons. On every single one of these weapons, as we mentioned, they are exactly the same as the current weapons you can unlock with salvage. The only difference is every single one of these weapons gives you 15% more XP per kill than your normal weapons you can craft with salvage. So the Mark II weapons are just ever so slightly better than the weapons you can normally unlock via salvage. So both of the weapons you can get from supply drops, only one type, the Mark I weapons, if you will, you can unlock via salvage. So the thing with this is that this being implemented into the game makes playing the game unrealistic to be able to complete. And what I mean by that is any video game that I personally play, I want two things. I want it to be fun, and I want to feel rewarded when I play it. So for example, when I play a game like Skyrim or Destiny or something along those lines, there is a very linear path that I can take to earn the best gear, get the best items, and all of those things, and I can see it. There's an exact way of completing challenges, quests, or different things in different ways where I can get the best of the best gear. When Call of Duty does this supply drop thing, and you can only earn these weapons via supply drop, I'm talking here about the Mark II weapons, there is no linear way to earn these weapons. I just have to hope that with the best of luck, I am able to get some of these weapons out of supply drops. And to me, this is why I am frustrated with it. I want there to be a way where I can specifically go about, earn these weapons in some way that's easily laid out, and I can see how to complete that. In fact, this is the exact reason I believe Call of Duty became so successful in the first place. If we go back and look at, let's say, Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 2 was laid out in a way where that if you completed challenges, that's how you unlock the different gear, the different reticles, the different this, the different that in the game. And what I mean by that is one great example is to get the spinning nuke emblem, what you actually had to do was get 10 nukes. Once you got those 10 nukes, you unlocked that spinning nuke emblem, and then you had that. To unlock an ACOG scope, you had to get 25 kills with a red dot sight. Call of Duty is no longer being like that, and now it's just press a button and hope you get lucky in supply drops. This is the reasoning why I think people are getting more and more mad at Call of Duty, is because playing it's no longer feeling rewarding. It's the RNG, the luck of opening the supply drops. And of course that triggers a whole nother thing of emotions in people's body. It's like gambling, right? People enjoy gambling, but to me, being able to go out and learn through linear progression is a lot more rewarding for me as a player. But of course we've talked about that before. That's the whole supply drop controversy many people have talked about. I don't want to talk about that anymore. What I want to talk about is the ridiculous amount of items that they added in with this. To me, this almost seems like a mistake. With the amount of things that they put out, the amount of content they put out with this update is just unrealistic. And what I mean by that is that they put out so much content, it is almost impossible for you to get. Realistically, if you play the game properly, you don't buy supply drops, it is next to impossible to unlock these. Let me give you an example. So let's use some numbers here, because you guys know I love doing weapon stats, I love doing all of that stuff. I love numbers, and the numbers in this update can give you an idea of how ridiculous this really is. So For example, there are now 254 weapon variants with the Mark 1 and Mark 2 weapon variants in the game total. 254 different variants. That's not even counting the base variants of the weapons. And I am going to have a video probably up next week talking about the actual math behind all of this, but the most basic thing, if we look at the most basic thing possible, we know in this update there is 600 customizable items added into the game. 600. We also know that when we open a rare supply drop, we get 3 new items. So taking the assumption that with opening the supply drop, we get absolutely no duplicates every single time we open a rare supply drop, which is impossible, by the way, but taking into account that that happens, you will therefore have to open 200 rare supply drops to get every single one of the new customizable items. Not total customizable items in the game, just the new ones from this update. So 200 rare supply drops with no duplicates dropping, that's how you get every single one of the new items. That's not including any of the new weapons. None of them. So we know we need to open 200 rare supply drops, assuming we get no duplicates to get all of these items. Now on top of that, we also know that a rare supply drops costs 30 keys. So if we take 30 and multiply it by the 200 drops, that's 6,000 total keys we need to open these 200 drops. On top of that, I've also made a video talking about the fastest way to get keys, and it turns out in playing multiplayer, you get a key every 4 minutes. Therefore, to get 6,000 keys, you need to play for 24,000 minutes, which is equivalent to 400 hours, aka 33.33 days played. Not to mention, this doesn't include getting any weapon variants, this doesn't include duplicates, this doesn't include any of that. So it's a completely unsurmountable task to actually be able to get all of the items that they put out just in this one drop of DLC items. And that is why I think a lot of people are frustrated. They're putting over a year's worth of DLC out in one drop. Not to mention that they've dropped new weapons every single month since the game has been released so far. It's just too much content. It's too much to keep up with. It's too much to possibly get by playing the game. In fact, you would have to have played Call of Duty so much that for a third of the time that the game has been out, you would have to be playing the game constantly, no stopping, which is insane. So if I could sum this up in an analogy, if one analogy could sum up this whole thing, the reason why people are frustrated about this is people have played Call of Duty for years and years and years. And we look back in the Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2 days, Call of Duty, and more specifically Activision and Infinity Ward, had the gaming world by the balls. They were the guy going to prom with the hottest girl in school. The rockin' tits, the rockin' ass, absolutely beautiful. And this girl leans over to Activision and whispers in his ear, "After prom, you're mine. You can have whatever you want, baby." But Activision wants sex, and they want it now. So they see a fat chick in the corner, and the fat chick comes up to Activision and goes, "You want sex? You can have me right now." And instead of waiting for that hot girl, the beautiful girl with the great attitude and likes playing video games, I just added that in right now, but it's important to the story, they decide to go for the sex right here and right now. Activision is currently fucking the fat chick, and that is why everyone is mad at Activision. Now, I don't know if that analogy made any sense whatsoever, but the real point that I'm getting at is people are frustrated because Call of Duty is a game people, including myself, have loved for years and years and years. And the fact that they're going and changing it like this and making it literally impossible to get all of the gear unless you pay hundreds and hundreds of dollars is why people are getting frustrated with the game. Not to mention, the game hasn't even been completed yet. There still aren't leaderboards, emblems, any of that crap. That is why people are frustrated. Can it be fixed? Yes, and here is how they fix it. Exactly what I talked about in yesterday's video. There needs to be more ways to get salvage. There needs to be more ways to get keys. So this is the first time this has ever happened. I was recording this, and as I'm recording it, Infinity Ward puts out a statement on the exact thing that we are talking about. So everything we've talked about in this video so far is still a valid complaint. I still think there's too many items in the game, and it takes next to an impossible amount of time playing the game to get all the items. However, they addressed people's other complaints. First things first, they addressed the drop rate of items. They said the drop rate rate of weapons is still the exact same as it was pre-patch. In other words, you still have the exact same chances of getting weapons, even though they added in 600 plus other customizable items. The other thing that they said was regarding salvage, and what they said is in addition to all this new content, it means fewer duplicates, which also means fewer salvage. Their response to this is we understand that some players are concerned about that this affects the ability to earn salvage. Rest assured, we have plans, and are working on additional plans to introduce new ways to earn salvage in the future. What that means to me is that they're going to be implementing daily and weekly challenges. That's what I assume that they are going to do. I still think they need more on top of that. Like I said, it would be great if there was ways of completing challenge to earn weapons directly. That would make me play the game more. I don't know about you guys, but let me know what you think about everything we talked about today. It was very convenient that Infinity Ward put out a message literally the second that I was talking about this in a video, so that was pretty convenient. But if you guys enjoyed the video, it'd be fantastic if you'd hit that like button. Also, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. We upload new Call of Duty videos every single day of the week. But I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. Check out my Twitch, Twitter, all of that crap down in the description. And until next time, peace out.